another thing you hear me say is the affluent. When I say affluent, I'm talking about this region. That's the tiniest side of the belly region. That's where the affluent is. The tiniest side of your waist is this side. That's the affluence point, right? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timikemza James. For our new and old subscribers, you're all welcome to today's tutorial where I'm going to be taking you on taking accurate body measurements, right? I have a video on this taking body measurements, but I'm bringing an updated version of that video, right? So in case you're wondering why we have a naked sister beside us, that is the reason, because I want to use this sister to illustrate to us how to take body measurements, right? So without further ado, let's get into the video. First, I'm going to be talking to you about the bodies generally, right? So you know that in most of our videos you hear me say we're working on quarter of the body. It just simply means from this line that you're seeing here to this midpoint, mid region, is where we're working on. So if I say we're working on one half of the front, I'm talking about from here to this midpoint, right? So, and then another thing you hear me say is the affluent. When I say affluent, I'm talking about this region. That's the tiniest side of the belly region. That's where the affluent is. The tiniest side of your waist is this side. That's the affluence point, right? And then when I say bust pan, I mean from here to here, which is the nipple area, from one nipple here to another nipple. That's the affluence. Now, to start our measurements, with that being said, and then when I say crouch, I just want to explain those words so that when I say them, you know what I mean. When I say crouch, it simply means from the waist, any side of the waist. That crouch is mostly for pants or jumpsuits. So when I say crouch, it means from the waist area. So your waist could be anywhere from here to the literal waist, which is the lower side of the waist around here. So it's from anywhere you're using as the waist down to this side. That's the mid section here. That's the crouch line, right? So now we're going to start from our horizontal measurement. First off, you're going to measure your neck, which is going to be like this. So you have your neck measurement like this. So it's round of your neck. Then you have your shoulder measurement. So let me just turn this mannequin a little so that you see what I mean by shoulder measurement. You're going to start from your shoulder point from here, like so, just before before the starting point of your hand. So you're going to go all the way to the back to this side like this. Now make sure that your tape passes across to the back of the neck like so, right? So that's your shoulder measurement. So it's from one shoulder to another shoulder. So when they say across back, is from this point like so, you get. So that's your across back measurement, right? Then you're also going to be doing your bust measurement. So for the bust measurement, we are going to pass our tape around the bust. So on the fullest side of the bust is where your bust measurement lies. So it's going to be like this. Now let me turn this mannequin so that you see where the tape is on the back, right? So you can see where the tape is on the back. That's the bust measurement. Then we have our waist or our affluence measurement, which is, or let's do the underbust first. For the underbust is immediately after your brow wire or your bust, right? And guys, before I forget, do not measure anybody without, as long as it's a female, she has to have her bra on, right? Except of course she's going to be wearing the dress without the bra. So for the waist, we are going to be taking it, the waist or the affluence is this side, right? So for the bust pan is the measurement from one nipple to another nipple. So you're just going to go like this. You don't have to go touching the client or being all mushy with the client, right? So that's the affluence measurement. Then for the waist measurement, right, the lower waist, you just go like so, right? Then the hip measurement is also the fullest part of the bum, is the hip measurement. So you come down a little, right? So you can see. So this is the hip measurement. Let me turn that back so you see as well. So you can see, right? So that's the hip measurement, right? Then we are going to be doing our lap measurement, right? So let me move her hand a little bit. So for the lap, you're going to put in your tape to this point. So you find the fullest part of the lap is where you're going to be measuring. Likewise, the knee as well, you go like this. Then the ankle. Now most times for some people who their legs at the back here is a little bit bigger, so you measure these points as well, right? And then you do the ankle. For the ankle, you don't have to do it too tight, except you're working with a fabric that is elastic or so, right? That is stretchy, guys. So sometimes you see some measurements. You might need to take your knee round for maybe skirts or something. You go round like this and just leave a little bit of allowance for the person to be able to move her legs like this. So that is it for. And then the next one is the sleeve, right? So for the sleeve round, you just come around the biceps here and measure round like so, right? So that is it for the sleeve. Then now we are going to be going into, that is it for our horizontal measurement. Then we'll go into our vertical measurement. For the vertical measurement, the first one is from your shoulder. So now this is where you ensure that your tape is, as you can see, this point here is where your tape should be. Then it will come up to the chest. So you take from your shoulder to the chest, right? So your chest is above your bust. That's your chest. So wherever you want is where your tape will be. Then to the fullest part of the bust, right? Then you ensure that your tape lies on the fullest part of the bust. Don't put your tape by the side like this. You ensure that your tape is still sitting like this. Then it goes to the under bust, right? Then to the affluence. When you're taking the under bust measurement, you make sure your tape comes like this, curvy, right? Then you take to the affluence, which is here. Mind you, when I say to the affluence, it's from the shoulder. So it's from the shoulder to the chest, shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to affluence, shoulder to maybe literal waist, shoulder to hip, right? Shoulder to hip. Don't forget that my tape is still sitting on the wider side of, on the bust side. It's not falling sideways, right? So you take shoulder to knee or wherever, shoulder to length. Now the length one is one of the most important one. That's where you have problem with clients sending measurements. Don't forget to have this tape on the bust like so, downwards, right? So now for your front affluence, when you take shoulder to affluence like this, let me just show you this. Now mind you, I'm not using this side as my shoulder to wherever like so. So it has to be on the nape of the shoulder like so, like, right? So when I put it like this to my affluence on the front, now guys, look at this. My front affluence on this dress is 17.5, right? That's if I want it to be on this side, is 17.5, right? By the time I do the same thing on the back, you're going to see that there's a difference. So on the, from the back like so to that affluence point, you're seeing that it's 14, right? I have 14 on the back. Now the reason is because of this cup, the cup of the bust area, this definition you have here. You don't have the same thing on the back. So it's usually very important to take this measurement. Now with this measurement, it will enable you, it will help you to know how much for, it will help you to know the how some people are slimmer on their body and then they are just copy. So sometimes you can see some bust measurement looks like the person is busty, but he might just have bust, but the back side of his body is slimmer, right? So you make sure you take that measurement as well. And then that also helps with gaping. So sometimes when you see somebody wearing a dress, at the back on the zipper side you see that there are some fabric folding up like this. That's because the person used the same affluence as the front and use the same affluence on the back. So if I go ahead and use 17.5 just like I have on the front, and I have the same thing on the back, right, I'm going to end up with that issue of bulkiness on the back of my dress, right? So for the front side, if your affluence is 17.5 on the back and I measure it here and it's 14, I have a whole 3 inches, guys, to take away. So your back affluence when you're sewing your dress, it should be 14, but on the side of your back is going to be 17, but on the midpoint is going to be 14. So what that simply means is your back bodies is going to be slanted. On the affluence line is not going to be a straight line, so it's going to be a slanted line which will cut in from here like so. So that's what you're most likely going to be having, right? So after that measurement, let's go ahead. So that's how you just go ahead and measure all your measurements. Then you do your sleeve as well. For the sleeve, you start from here where your shoulder begins, then you go anything for a cap sleeve is anything from this shoulder that stops around maybe 4 or 5 inches. When it exceeds 5 inches, it is now a short sleeve, 5 to 9, right? Then 3/4 sleeve starts anywhere from, let's say, 11, 12. For this mannequin, it's not for everybody, right? So for a 3/4 sleeve, it starts from here to up till this point, right? So anything lower than this is a long sleeve, right? So that is it about. And then you take, for sleeve, you also take your wrist measurement, your elbow measurements, right? So for your crouch measurement, if this was collapsible, I'm going to show you. What you do is you sit on a surface like this. Let me try and do that for you to see. So for you to take that measurement, what you want to do for your crouch measurement is to sit upright like I'm doing here. Then assuming this is my waist area that I want to work with, my tape will start from my waist here to this point where it touches the chair. You get me? So from here, like so, it's going to go down to touch the chair, but make sure the client is sitting upright. So that's how to take your crouch measurements, guys. This is it about taking our proper measurements. Hope you found this video really helpful. If you did find it helpful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed, and let me know in the comment section if you have any other tutorial you would love to see next. Let me know, guys. So see you in my next video, guys. Don't forget to go follow me on Instagram, James on Instagram, or Somatize on Instagram as well, right? So don't forget to go follow me on Instagram, guys. Let's spread the love up to that point, right? See you in my next video, guys. Bye.